So this video is 11 reasons why I think Formula One is the most interesting sport in the world to watch. But I'm really not qualified to say that. I mean, normally in my videos I've got all these facts and data and everything else, and in this case it's just pure opinion. But it's not even opinion based on anything other than just my feeling, because I don't actually know anything about other sports. I don't know anything about golf other than the fact it's a bit of metal you hit a ball with and the ball goes into a hole. And with cricket you throw a ball at a guy and hits it with a bit of wood and you run backwards and forwards and you score points, overs, tries, or something like that. Well, I don't really know, but to my uninformed, and hopefully you'll inform me in the comment, view of the world, Formula One seems the most interesting for 11 reasons. So the first reason is you've got a team and an individual competition at the same time. So you've got 20 drivers on track, all of whom are trying to beat the other 19, but you've also got 10 teams, each of which is trying to beat the other 9, and then you've got that dual competition, but also the tension of, is a driver going to put themselves first or the team first? Now, I don't know if that's unique in the sporting world, but I think in totality, all the 11 reasons we're going to run through do make Formula One unique. Then you've got the size of the team during the competition. So what I've seen in something like tennis, you've got whoever is hitting the ball over the net and backwards and forwards, and that's about it. Whereas in a Formula One race, you've obviously got the driver, the star of the show, but you've also got the strategist, who is very important to the race, and you've got the pit stop crew as well. They could easily lose the race, and you've got the team principal there, who does an important job of complaining to race control. So to me, there's probably more people involved in the outcome of event or round than there is in the average sport. Then you've got the complexity of the sporting implement itself, which is a Formula One car. And then you've got incredible amounts of complexity with the aerodynamics, the tyres, not just the engine, but the powertrain, it being a hybrid, and how they all interplay together. And I just can't think of anything else which is that complex. A golf ball certainly isn't. A cricket bit of wood you hit things with isn't either. Neither is a football. And you can look at things like MotoGP, but they've only got 2 wheels, not 4. Rally cars, for example, they're complex as well. But one of the other interesting things about Formula One is that each car is unique, and it's not just the same car with a different body shell like most series racing events, and also there's no ballast as well. So you've got unbelievable complexity in the object which a sporting event is about. Then you've got the fact that there is no knockout. Every competitor competes in every event. Every team competes in every event. So right up until the last event of the season, the team you support, the driver you support is there. And it's not like, if your team has been knocked out in the first 2 or 3 rounds. Now, it's always interesting in any sporting event to see who's going to win that particular round, but with Formula One, because you've got so many people competing in track at the same point, then it can be a fascinating race for even 19th or 20th or 5th or 6th, even if first and second are very clearly defined. So you've got many different battles going on, and it's not just about the individual round either. It's all about beating your teammate, seeing that, and politics. So there's always a bigger backstory to any individual battle. Now, in motor racing, the tracks or circuits tend to be very different to each other. So a street circuit like Monaco is radically different to a track like Spa, which would be different again to a track like Monza, and it just goes on. Now, there's some sports which are similar to that. So I understand golf played on different types of courses, for example, but when it comes to things like, I don't know, let's go back to cricket, because I can't really think of that many more sports. To me, a cricket pitch is a cricket pitch, and surely it's the same wherever you go in the world. So it's kind of a little bit boring from that respect compared to Formula One. Diversity. So Formula One has 24 races in this year, and I think 20 different countries. That's quite a variation. Then, as far as the team is concerned, sure, the drivers tend to be male and of a certain age, but I think there's 16 different nationalities out of the 20 drivers. But it's not just about the drivers either. The team principals, they tend to be a bit older, so you get a bit of age range there. At the moment, they're all men, but there have been female team principals as well. When we look at the strategists and other people like that, you do see quite a mix of people as opposed to just fit young athletes, and I like that diversity. With Formula One, amateurs can often go to exactly the same venue as the Formula One race itself. For example, I've driven a car around Spa-Francorchamps and Nürburgring and places like that. Whereas, from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think you can really get a bunch of your mates together and then go have a hit of tennis at Wimbledon or play cricket at the MCG just because you feel like it and there's an event run there. So to me, being able to just experience that exact same venue as what you see on TV and the pinnacle of the sport is pretty special. Then there's the strategy for the race, which isn't just drive as fast as you possibly can for 90 minutes. And that strategy begins even before the race itself, because how much do you sacrifice the car in qualifying or optimize it for qualifying, but then sacrifice your race pace? And then actually in the race, what's going to happen with the weather? How are you going to manage your tyres? Is that going to pan out as expected? What's the temperature going to do? Is there going to be rain? What penalties might be applied to you or applied to either your competitors, which then have an effect on you? What about damage, safety cars, etc.? There's a lot of strategy going on. Is that more than any other sport? I don't know, you tell me. Formula One race is flat out or racing for 90 solid minutes. If I look at other sports, for example, well, let's go back to cricket again, because it's really the only sport that I know. You sort of throw the ball, it gets hit, and then it's either caught or hit or whatever, and everyone sort of relaxes for a bit and it goes again. Same for tennis, it's bang, 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 backwards and forwards, and then a point is scored, everyone relaxes, and then you move on. And it's pretty much the same way what I've seen with rugby as well. You kick the ball around a bit, someone puts it through those whatever they're called, goals, and then you stop. Whereas in Formula One, you start and then it's pretty much flat out, unless you get a penalty or something like that. And it's mean to say that the drivers are flat out racing all the time at maximum speed. They're not, but they're always, the competition's always moving. There's never any point at which it stops unless you get a red flag, which is fairly rare unless we're talking the first race of Australia. Unpredictability. What's going to happen? Well, you've got a complicated object in the Formula One car which might get damaged, so it's taken out of the race or need to return to the pits. Again, do we often see a rugby ball damaged and have to, change the nature of the play? Not really, and everyone's using the same one anyway. You've also got the weather, and it's not just a case of, okay, rain comes, it's going to stop. That really can vary things up a bit. You've got potential manhole covers which might appear, there's animals on track, there's quite a lot of variability and unpredictability which goes into a Formula One race, and I'm just wondering if it's more unpredictable than any other sporting event. What do you think? So what do you reckon? Am I right? Am I wrong? For those 11 reasons, does that make Formula One the most interesting sport in the world? Or are you going to say, well, it's all processional and it's overtaking is hard and there's periods of dominance, therefore it's not interesting? Don't know. Let's see what you guys say in the comment. But the one thing I would say about periods of dominance is you only get that because one car is able to be built better than the rest. And if you didn't have the ability to do that, then that wouldn't make the cars as interesting, and therefore you wouldn't get the dominance. So choose. What would you rather have? Interesting vehicles all built to a different spec and technical directors coming to the fore and all of that work around it? Or would you rather have something which you don't know who's going to win every single race? I'd rather go for the car being complex, because even if there is a period of dominance, you can admire that, and it also makes it all the more interesting when one dominant team doesn't win. And there's also all of those really interesting battles going down to 3rd, 4th, even 19th place. But that's just my opinion. What do you think?